Welcome to another exciting episode of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Paperboy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
Mr. Magazine is super excited today. It's a nice, wonderful day outside there. You can't really tell. Look at how excited he is. We are down here in Cleveland. We had two deals yesterday. One deal we're passing on currently, just because we have to work out the logistics. It would be too much stuff for us to bring back and all that. I'm sure we'll do it at some point or other. It's in the rotation, as they say. Would you agree with that, Mr. Magazine?
Absolutely. How many boxes? About 300 boxes worth?
At least, I think, yeah.
About 350.
Yeah.
That one room, yeah.
Yep. And then we had another smaller deal with somebody that I went to high school with. So that was a lot of fun catching up with him as well. Nice dinner, nice talk, and all that kind of stuff. Today we're heading on back to Rochester, which makes Mr. Magazine super happy. Yet, we weren't able to carry those 350 boxes, and he needs a workout. So where are we going today, Mr. Magazine?
Flea market?
Flea market, where he's going to sprint through. It's an outdoor one, the Berea Flea Market. We'll show you some footage from that. I remember last time, I think they said it was something like $7 to set up. So it's interesting flea market. It's going to be 61 degrees today, and it's literally a mile away from the hotel. So even Mr. Magazine can't get lost with that one. True. And then we're heading on down to Akron, Ohio, or how do you say, Mr. Magazine?
Well, I said the rapper Akron.
Akron, or Akron, Ohio, depending. Maybe LeBron James is set up there, who even knows. Big paper show down there, and we'll show you some great stuff from there as well. So we'll get stuff for a great haul video, some great video of Mr. Magazine just sprinting around these places. Show opens at 10. Mr. Magazine said he wants to be in the car on the way home at 10:02. I'm not sure if we're going to make that or not. So we'll see you a little later, and we'll show you the stuff that we find, the treasures we find as well. Excited, Mr. Magazine?
Oh, very.
10 o'clock is the next show. It's about 8 o'clock now, 2 hours, half-hour drive down. It means we've got to figure out a way to spend an hour and a half.
Keep making laps. Keep walking.
That's good. We're definitely going to get our exercise today.
You do the talking.
I'm good at that. All righty. We shall see what we find. And we're done. Took about 15 minutes. Mr. Magazine got his calisthenics in. And he also bought a few things. What'd you get, Mr. Magazine?
I got a Batman loose action figure for my collection.
Very cool.
Spider-Man car.
Which I've never seen before.
And the Star Wars pack with Boba Fett. And a vintage lunch pail.
Which is the old metal style lunch pail, and it's actually in fairly good shape. What'd you pay for everything there?
Oh, let's see, what is it?
$10, exactly. $10.
Exactly, there you go, yeah.
Mr. Magazine actually wasn't going to end up picking the lunch pail. I said, you got to pick that up. That's worth that. And he said, yeah, you're right. And did I buy anything, Mr. Magazine?
Oh, of course, you always buy something. Let's see what you bought.
Oh, why don't we? Free admission. Now, during the season, it's $1 admission, so you better save up your pennies now to head on over. I think the admission starts in April, but it's free today, set up outside. Really neat. First one we went to, gentleman had stuff for $3 each, 2 for $5. And ended up buying some nice stuff over here for Whatnot as far as a sealed Fantasia book, Walt Disney. That's a nice book, isn't it, Mr. Magazine?
Very nice,
sealed?
Yeah.
This is going to go great over on Whatnot as well. The Predator, making of the film. I ended up taking a chance on this. I don't know who Frank Marino is off the top of my head. Do you, Mr. Magazine?
I do not know.
But it says signed by Frank Marino. I figured for $2.50. So
well worth it.
$15 total. A Thor 178, nice old comic there. Astonishing Tales #1. And Silver Surfer 18, which is about a $25 to $40 book in that condition.
Cool
Can't
cover.
argue with that for $2.50. So we were walking around, and a gentleman had some stuff. And I was looking at it. Finally, I said to Mr. Magazine, I literally walked by his table 3 times. Finally said, I gotta ask. I go up, and he had this box right over here. And you may remember I found stuff like this in a different haul video. And Goody is a very good brand to look for. So remember Goody. And finally I said, what do you want for this? He goes, you want the whole box? $5. I said, done deal, pal, done deal. So I ended up getting this entire thing over here for that price. It will spur me to list the stuff that I bought last year in a haul video that you saw over Memorial Day. So we're off to the big paper show. Quite happy with this over here. Literally, this was 1 mile away from the hotel. So we'll see you at the paper show.
Take care. Bye-bye.
And we are done with the show. And let me show you my haul. Well, I got this free off the free table. Mr. Magazine, you actually got something. Why don't you show us what you, before you open it up, What they're doing now at the shows is they're stapling it closed with the price sticker, or else they are putting stickers over it, and that's to make sure that people don't walk off with stuff. And I've been seeing that more and more at larger shows now. Why don't you show us what you got, Mr. Magazine?
So I was a big spender of the day. The paperboy showed me this, and I said I gotta buy it. It's original from the 70s, Bronze Age.
Oh, the old repacks, yep.
You got it, and on the back of Spider-Man.
Which you collect, and you don't have that in that format before. The funny thing about it, what did you pay on that? Well, they were asking how much, Mr. Magazine?
I offered 20, they said yes. And they had another version where Spider-Man, with this issue, was on the front of it.
And a Thor was on the back.
Double or triple
Thor
price.
was on the back. They wanted $65 for it.
So I figured, this is good enough for me for 20. I'm happy. And there you go, add it to my collection.
Very cool. Now, that's the first time you've ever gone to a show like that. What were your thoughts?
It was very cool stuff. I looked around, I didn't sprint through it. I did a little walkthrough. My leg was hurting me a little bit, so I took a breather and sat down. But a lot of cool stuff. If I was into the book stuff, there would be some cool stuff I'd probably want to buy.
It didn't look to be overly well attended. In fact, we walked up before the doors were open, and there were about 10 to 12 people milling around out front. And then when they open it up, you'll see a little bit of video at the end. I didn't do as much video from a show because Mrs. Paperboy wasn't with me, and I feel kind of weird about it. And Mr. Magazine feels kind of weird about that as well. He doesn't want to grab the camera and do it. Very cool venue, especially here on the weekends, because it's free parking across the street. A lot of cars going by right now. Free parking across the street in the parking garage. It was interesting. Saw some dealers there.
I feel like it was a high quality show, but small venue for the high quality stuff you'd see. You'd expect like a bigger show with that type of quality stuff.
But with us coming down here anyway, it was definitely very, very cool to check out. I did see a couple of dealers that I saw up at the Ephemera Fair, and did end up talking to one guy for a little while, and got his business card and everything, and he's got a YouTube channel. So we're going to be reaching out to him as well, have him on. He goes to Brimfield, he goes to Madison Bachville, he goes to a lot of the big shows as well. So that should be really, really cool. Definitely want to thank Mr. Magazine for coming along with this again. And, you never know when you go into one of these whether you're going to be there for 5 minutes or 3 hours. You just absolutely know. One little trick that I do, and I don't know if you do this as well, Mr. Magazine. If you see somebody with a bunch of stuff, what I do is somebody there had boxes of stuff, and they had at the front of one of the boxes a World's Fair a guide, I'm going to call it, that I've actually had before.
Yeah.
So I took a look at their price on it, let the cars go by, and they wanted $45 on it. And that's about all that I need to know. When I sell it for $25 and they want $45,
Right.
They're probably not having great deals that I can pick up cheap.
If you're a collector and you need that or want that and you can't find it elsewhere, you got to pay the $45.
Right. Now, if I were as a dealer, if they had $10 on it, I would have started looking through a lot more stuff, because it's like, okay, maybe I can't make money on this item, but the items are priced where I can make money. Now, that doesn't mean they're not necessarily going to give you a bulk price if you buy a lot of stuff, whatever like that. But when you're at twice my retail on the first item that you see, you probably don't need to spend a lot of time going through things.
There weren't any big setups where someone had whole walls and 10 tables. There's always like a couple tables.
No, absolutely not.
So no one brought a lot of inventory, but quality.
And there was one last thing. What did you mention to me? And it was really neat that you saw that actually caught your eye that the gentleman had.
He had a little golden books display, a vintage one. It was made of metal, kind of like the comic ones that spin, but this is I don't know what you would call it. There's a wider.
Right.
Yeah.
With the metal. Yep, that is actually in the haul video. And then there was another gentleman who had some stuff you really thought was interesting. The books.
Yeah, a lot of little black Sambos, really old stuff, little tiny hardcover books. Never seen them before, but they're $800 to $1,500.
Yeah, and I did ask one gentleman if he had Platinum Age comic books. He said, "Oh yes, I do," and he actually brought one out, and he wanted $600 on it. Told a great story that hopefully I can get him to. He's the gentleman that's going to be on the show. Hopefully, great story. That I'm like, oh, that's a good story. I got to remember to have him tell as well. So fun show, fun little thing. We're not too far out of our way, so it worked out really well. Do hit the like button if you could, and we'll see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.
And here we are inside. That right there was the little golden book. Sorry, I forgot to turn the camera the right way over here. That's why we have Mrs. Paperboy do it when she's around. Some of the same dealers here that I saw at the Ephemera Fair. And again, this was about 15 minutes, 10 minutes after open. So hopefully a lot more people ended up coming in than were here. It was sparsely attended. And like I said, it was Akron, Ohio. So just about half-hour drive from Cleveland. You would think people would come up from Columbus. You would think that people would come up from even Cincinnati. About, I don't know how many dealers, 20 dealers, 25 dealers. Why, that would be Mr. Magazine sitting right there saying hello to you. But yeah, so I felt bad. There wasn't better attendance. Probably some deals to be had. Some really, really nice stuff throughout, though. Just nice stuff overall. Very, very heavy on the books. Very, very little ephemera overall. Even though it was advertised as ephemera as well. So that's something other to do if you're down in the Akron area next year, because it's an annual show.